Hi ladies, you're not gonna see my face because we're doing a spell. Sorry, I'm a little late. My daughter showed up unexpectedly after some stuff that happened. Anybody hops on, if you could comment for me so I can see if comments are working. Yes, they are. Hi, Haley. Yay, it's rare the comments actually work. Hi, Ronnie. I'm actually late, so you guys are definitely on time. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kelly. If you guys could let me know how the music is in the background, too, if that's too loud or not. There's a reason there is a sock on my altar and this cup of fluid. It is all part of the spell. While I wait, I'm gonna carve a name into this candle. Good deal. Hi, Sherry. That's awesome. I never get to see you on a live too much, Ronnie, so I'm glad you're here. Okay, so the ingredients for this spell, this is our Chaos Grenade spell. This was not created by me, but I have altered it to suit my needs. Just as a disclaimer there. So the purpose of this spell is to let someone know very loud and clear that their nonsense and BS has not gone unnoticed. And anybody who is in Where Witches Roam or in my Oracles program should know pretty good and well who this specific spell is targeted to. I am not going to say names, but it does have a target. What you need for this spell is the saddest, coldest, last sip of your coffee from yesterday, from today. You're gonna want to, I previously already did this. You're going to swish this around in your mouth and spit it into the cup. And you'll use this in your jar. Like I said, I previously swished it in my mouth and spit it into the cup. But there is a little incantation that will also go with it. You will need a crumpled piece of paper, because they're not worth a fresh sheet. You will need a pen that is on its last legs. So it feels like a struggle. You're going to need a jar that looks like it belongs in the thrift store reject pile. I looked high and low for a pretty gross jar that we might have had in our basement or out in my husband's work shed, and this was the grossest one that I could come up with. This is straight black coffee. I don't typically drink straight black coffee. I drink coffee with creamer. Oh, there you go, Kelly. But yeah, that's straight black coffee. I normally drink my coffee with creamer in it. but given the fact that I let it sit for a few days in the dark, in the back of my cabinet, I didn't want to put creamer in there and then have it curdle. So I just did straight black coffee, to, I guess, eliminate any chance of curdled creamer or making that really disgusting and gross. And then you're going to need salt because we're seasoning our spite to perfection. And then last but not least, you're going to need a mismatched sock. I'm a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. And I've not been able to find this sock forever. And I felt this one would actually kind of be perfect for this, knowing the type of spell that it is and who it's for. So, a mismatched sock. Because if you're going to hex someone, why not make it weird? And I don't typically wear mismatched socks. So, for me, wearing mismatched socks is a little weird. So, it's actually kind of perfect. Hi, Christy. So despite everything that has happened between my nephew being sick, he's finally home. He does have a partially collapsed lung and has been diagnosed with acute hypoxia respiratory failure. And they will have a new norm of having to use a BiPAP, CPAP machine, and oxygen pretty steadily. My dog is okay. I did a lot of work with Hecate when she got sick. She's doing much better. She is back to her normal self. And I thank my goddess every second that she's doing well. So despite all of the stuff that has been happening, I find myself to be in pretty good spirits today. My daughter is here. My granddaughter is here. I spent the weekend with my nephew. And I feel that justice is about to be served with this spell. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all very much. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my little candle holder here. So the candles are not required. I personally like to use candles with pretty much every spell that I do. I did carve a name into this candle, and I'm going to go ahead and light it. No worries, you're good. If the camera wiggles, I apologize. It's sitting right in front of me. If you hear background noise, I apologize. Like I said, my daughter and granddaughter are downstairs. And my granddaughter's in that fun age that she just wants to yell and scream at everything. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. As I said, I previously already swished the coffee around and spit it out. But as I pour it into the jar, I am going to chant a little something. Yes, she absolutely does. She does. All right, so we're going to take this pretty sad, bitter, spit out last sip of coffee. And we are going to say, bitter brew, my wrath's delight. Let chaos find you day and night. Again, you're going to want to swish this around in your mouth and spit it into the jar. I previously did so before I put it into the cup. Next, we are going to grab this crumpled up old piece of paper. It's even torn up a little bit. And write down their name and their offense. Write down what it was that they did with your barely dead pen. Or barely working pen, I should say. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to write down this person's specific offense and her name with my almost dead pen. You can write as little or as much detail to this as you would like to. Be specific, as always. She sure is. Hi, Angie. Her Nana's girl. She knows exactly what Nana's up to. So once you have your person's name and their offense written on the paper, you are going to fold it or crumple it very aggressively. And you want to do it away from you because you are removing this from your life. And while you're at it, you may as well throw some curses under your breath in there. So give me just a moment while I serve up a little dose of karma. And there it is. I'm going to add that to the jar with my spit up coffee. Next, you're going to season with the salt. You can add as much or as little as you like. But as you do so saying, give me a second, I'm trying to put all this bunch of salt in my hand. As you add the salt to the jar, you are going to say a sprinkle here, a sprinkle there, a pinch of spite. May your days be far from bright. Really lean into it. It's your moment. Put it all into that salt and into the jar. I got some on my spill plate too, but that's okay. Next is the sock of chaos. Your mismatched sock. So this sock is going to symbolize this person's chaotic energy and my complete disgust and disdain for this person's existence at this point in time. You are going to shove it into the jar. And then to find my lid, put your lid on there real tight, because you're gonna shake the shit out of it. Seal the jar, grip it tightly, shake it kind of like you're trying to wake up a vending machine, and chant with every little bit of pettiness that you have in your soul. Jar of chaos, sock and brew, minor mischief, I send to you. I'm going to do it again. Jar of chaos, sock and brew, major mischief, I send to you. Jar of chaos, sock and brew, major mischief, I send to you. I do things in threes, so that was my third time. There you go, Kelly. So this is essentially, this is the spell in completion. I am going to take the black candle that I carved the name into, and I'm going to drip it on the top. Give the jar a good shake every day. Leave it on your altar or put it in a dark corner. Of your altar, of your room, wherever you feel you need to put it. Shaking the jar every day helps to keep it active. Yes, Angie, same. It's actually kind of blown my mind when I sit and think about it, how many things in my mundane life that I do in threes, not just my magical life. Yes, beneath the toilet would be great, Ronnie. Thanks for that idea, actually. It's a funny story. I have my apothecary and all of my witchy books in a pretty large armoire in my dining room, and my husband's buddy came over today to help him do some things. And when they got done, he was standing in my dining room just looking at my apothecary. He's not afraid of witchcraft, but he questions everything, kind of like my nephew does. He was asking me how I made my black salt, and I told him, and he's kind of a derp, so he didn't understand exactly what I was saying when I told him how I make black salt. And he's very intimidated and intrigued. He says that I scare him. Just a funny little story. I got a kick out of it. My nephew saw my altar up here in my bedroom, and I have this wand that sits on my altar at all times. And he grabbed it and was like, so if I wave this, I can make magic things happen. I was like, it's not quite that simple, but you can try if you'd like. He got a kick out of it. Oops, I just dripped wax right on my finger. Hi, Carol. I don't hide who I am from anybody. My house screams witch. Inside and outside. My husband's buddy said that he had never been inside of a home that is decorated like mine and shows exactly who I am. Purple front door and everything. I think that's probably why the Jehovah's Witnesses and all the Christians that like to go around town and knock on random people's doors haven't never come up to my door. Win-win for me. So I like to always seal any of my spell jars in wax. I do a lot of sour jars and baneful jars and so forth. Those type of spells, hexes and curses. I always use black candles for those. If I am doing a healing spell jar or something like that, I'll use blue or white. Love jars, self-love, stuff like that, I'll use a pink or a red. But to me, black is infinite, and I look at it as though it is sealing somebody's fate. And her name was written on this candle. Her real name and the name she went by in Where Witches Roam are both written on this candle. So the intended target is very plainly and clearly known. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. That's awesome, Ronnie. Haha. I've not had anybody say that they were going to stay away from me because of who I am. I've had people say that I intimidate them a little bit just because they know what some witches can be capable of. I said, well, don't piss me off and don't get on my bad side, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. Don't come after the people I love, and you're safe. So I am going to set this candle upright in the middle of this wet wax and let it continue to melt down. That's awesome, Sherry. Another purple door lady. That's great. I do. I definitely do have a purple door. Just my front door is purple right now. I am looking to match the paint for my front doors for my back door so I can get my back door painted purple as well. There's just a lot of small pieces and parts, so it's going to take some time with my back door. Oh, that's awesome. So my landlord, he's a pretty cool guy. He doesn't really care what we do as long as we're not knocking walls down and so forth. So we can paint, we can put new doors in, we can put a new fence in. We are actually in the process of buying this house. So everything that we are doing to it, we are doing to it in the hopes of one day selling this home to move into another one. I am definitely sure she knew this would happen, Ronnie. And I almost feel like she said what she said because she knew she was unleashing hell. Sherry, I don't know if you saw what was said by this specific person. I'll have to message you. She was very vile in the things that she said. Again, I'm not going to name names, but the situation, she was a reader in my group that a lot of the ladies in Unseen and Whoa Help Me Run, Crystal is an admin in there. This said individual was a reader in my Oracles program. My helpers discovered that she had been lying about the amount of reads that she was doing and so forth, because we have a minimum requirement that you have to do 4 minimum reads per month to be able to stay in the program. There's other rules and so forth, but anyway, she was lying about how many reads she was actually doing, and I booted her from the group for lying. I'm not one that deals with liars very well. Between liars and disrespect, I just have zero toleration for any of that. Anyways, I removed her. She was having her friends try to join Where Witches Roam, and they were plainly saying, Jessica, sorry, I name dropped, I apologize. Such person asked me to join this group because she's no longer able to see it, blase, blase. She also went to create a fake profile and join the group. I denied it. She messaged me some pretty vile things that involved my family and children, and that was it for me. That night I took a cleansing and protective shower. That worked wonders for me. However, I'm pretty sure the sloppiness of the person that she is, what she sent to me hit my dog. And that is why my dog was sick for a day and a half. And I thought I was going to lose her. She laid lifeless on my couch for 8 hours. Her tongue was hanging out of her mouth. Her body temperature dropped very low. And she had some very labored breathing. 8 hours, she didn't move. And this isn't counting all the hours through the night. When we woke up that morning, Friday morning, we had trouble waking her. And she's the type of dog that as soon as one of us gets up out of bed, she jumps up off of her bed and she's ready to go. She wasn't moving. We couldn't get her to wake up. My husband wrapped her in a blanket and carried her down to our couch, where she laid in the same position without budging an inch for over 8 hours. And I have no doubts in my mind that this person sent something to me. It didn't affect me, but it affected my dog. Hence why she is now right there. So that's a little backstory there. I've had very interesting people come to me with requests. I'm always shocked, but I know I shouldn't be. I plan to plant purple plants and flowers to keep on my front porch in the meantime. Hey, there you go. I love that. Ooh, homeowners associations. That's a rough one. I like to piss those type of people off. She was absolutely provoking it, and you said the exact words, Sherry. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Agreed, Christy. She had to, unless she's an even bigger idiot than she appeared. Yeah, the black wax dripping down like that it's a nice aesthetic. I'll message you, Sherry. Ronnie says, I'm sorry, I love that we have so many to stand beside you. I will, you are family. And it never ceases to amaze me when something happens in any of our groups. It doesn't matter if it's Unseen, if it's Woe, or if it's Where Witches Roam. We all band together and help one another when things get rough, whether it be sending healing or sending something like this back at somebody who did something very wrong. The sisterhood that has been built amongst these three groups is phenomenal and amazing. And I'm going to give Crystal a shout out right now for being the creator and starting everything that she started and asking me to lead with her. It's been a great honor, and I will continue to do so for as long as she'll have me. I love these groups. I love what we do in these groups, and I have grown to love and care for so many of you ladies that I just couldn't imagine what life would be like without all of you. So I thank you all for being there and being supportive and just being the amazing, wonderful souls that all of you are. I agree, Sherry. She says, see, that's not right. If you have issue with me, it's with me. Bring my family and it's no holds bar. And that is exactly what I said when my family and children were brought into the conversation or the message that she sent to me. The gloves came off. That was it. I was done. Gloves came off. Yes, I agree, Haley. Absolutely. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that. Oh, trust me, Kelly, this isn't all. This is just the beginning of a world of hurt for this certain person. I'm taking it nice and slow so she feels every single bit of what she has coming to her. Just when she thinks that it's over, guess what? I got you. I appreciate you all so much. Tina, you are more than welcome to do so. More than welcome. Yes, I agree, Sherry. She says, you can tell we are all close-knit, even with distance. I'm so happy I stumbled across Woe and loves y'all. These groups would be so much different without you. I speak for myself and probably many when I say how grateful I am that you're here. Oh, Kelly, I appreciate that. Thank you. I definitely try to put as much as I can, time and effort, into what we do in these groups. And like I said, I love what we do, and I wouldn't leave for any reason other than being made to. But I don't see that happening, thankfully. Yes, Ronnie, you are right, Ronnie. Definitely, this is the gentle side. I second Sherry and Kelly. These groups are so amazing, and we've all made some deep connections and have family and have become Witchy family. I appreciate you, Kathy, and all the other admins and mods. We appreciate you as well, Haley, and every other one of you. I'm glad for that, Sherry. Very glad for that. So, this is the Chaos Grenade spell jar. I will list the spell in the event so you have it. I do advise, like I said, it's not of my creation. I did kind of alter some things to make it to my purpose. And I would advise you to do the same as well. So I will post that in the event. I'm going to let that candle finish burning down. Let the wax dry up while it sits on my spell plate there. And then I think I might take Ronnie's idea and put it, yes, tweaking just fine-tunes our purposes, absolutely. When I come across, and this is just an FYI, a lot of the spells that I do, I don't create. I come across a lot of these spells on Pinterest and books that I read and other Facebook groups. I will save them and I will tweak them to fine-tune them to how it suits me and my purpose. I do create my own spells. I have many, many, many times. But a lot of the spells that I have done in Unseen have been spells that I have found elsewhere and just tweaked it to the purpose of what I was doing it for. Pretty much every single spell that I do has a purpose and an intended target. So I will change things in spells that I find, textbook, online, or otherwise, that is targeted for that specific person and situation. So if you ever come across a spell online that reminds you of something that I have done in this group, that very well may be where I got it from. Just remember, I did do a disclaimer at the start of this, said that it was not my spell. I did tweak it a little bit to suit my needs. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm giving credit where credit is due. It's not my spell. I tweaked it to make it suit me. Yes, and these types of spells, it's definitely, when you have a specific target in mind, the more personal you can make these type of spells, the better. If I had some of her hair, I'd use that. Most of my sour jars, I use my own urine. I've been known to use my own blood. If I don't feel like slicing and dicing one day, I will use bloodroot instead. I tend to make these type of spells very, very personal. I rely on you and Crystal to keep it real. I can do the pretty sunshine, happy day, make the flowers bloom spells, but when shit hits the fan, it's good to have someone to show you the facts and how to be real. We appreciate that, Christy. Use what feels right and then add your own personal spin on it. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Ronnie, I do not currently work with Lilith. Lilith is one that is on my radar. And I wouldn't say I hear, I was reading Sherry's comment when I said that. I have been learning about Lilith. I work with Hecate. As you can see, my altar is pretty dedicated to Hecate. Everything about my altar space screams Hecate. That tapestry up there is actually one that Crystal got me in a deity box that we did when we were doing our box exchanges. I have tended, sorry, my stand here is acting wonky. I tend to not stray far from Hecate because she is a jealous goddess. And I'm going to take this out of this stupid ring light and move it because I'm tired of it. She's a very jealous goddess, and I don't want to piss her off. She has done a lot of amazing things for me, supported me, and been there for me when I needed her the most. So my loyalty is definitely to Hecate. I am starting a relationship with Odin. He is not happy about my relationship with Hecate. He is also a possessive god. He's the first masculine energy that I have ever been drawn to, though. So I'm hoping I might be able to bargain with him in regards to continuing my work with Hecate and also working with him. But I do work with Freya. I do a lot of my lighter work with Freya, my healing work, my love work, so forth. That's usually done with her. Anything that involves justice, hexes, curses, it's always done here on my Hecate altar. And throughout 90% of my spell lives that I have ever done for Unseen, you'll see them done here on this altar because it's just the type of spells that I do. That's awesome, Sherry. You are welcome to do so, Ronnie. You are absolutely welcome to do so. So I stay adding to my Hecate altar. It's my mortar and pestle specifically dedicated to her. A little box here that's got crystals and various things that are associated with her. Some incense. Dogs are one of her totems, especially the Cerberus. Probably said that wrong. This is one of 3 statues. For those who have not really got a chance to see a close-up of my altar. My chalice, owls, that's another one of her totems. A stick of honey, that's an offering for her. That's oil that I made for her. It's my own blend. Some more owls. Little altar stand. This is my favorite statue of her, which is why she is up here on this one. My chalice. I love my chalice. It's onyx. Another offering bowl. I have a copper one and a wooden one. This is a death moth. My cleansing broom. This is actually a sun catcher. I'm scared to death to put it in my window, afraid that it's going to get broken, so it's here on my wall. That candle was actually made by Crystal's daughter and was put in the goddess box that she gave me. And there goes that candle. All done. There we go. All right, ladies. There we have it. Spell is complete. I'm going to let the wax dry pretty thoroughly. It's got a nice thick layer of it there on the top, so I'm just going to let that dry really well. It's our Chaos Grenade spell. I hope you lovelies have had a great weekend. I have the next 2 days off work to pursue other career goals. But I will be busy over the next couple of days again. I will put this spell in the event for anybody who would like to try it. Again, make it your own. I did not create it. Make it your own. All right, ladies. I'm going to hop off of here, go spend some time with my daughter and my grandbaby. I hope you all enjoy what's left of the rest of your weekend. You are welcome, Ronnie. You're welcome, Angie. You're welcome, ladies. All right, ladies. Blessed be. Have a great night. I will see you next time.